Talk to your people.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, 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 Facebook. My name is Amelia Blake. I am excited to be here with you today with my co-host, Mr. John Carl Martin, and our amazing admin team.
Good morning, everyone. I am very happy to be here also. This morning, we're going to be speaking about authentic communication. My name is John Carl Martin, and I want to say welcome to everybody coming in on Zoom, our friends out there on Facebook. You are very welcome also. We hope that you participate in our activity this morning and share your thoughts on the topic. Adam, there you go, Mel. You can give Adam your happy birthday. Hey, Adam.
Welcome, Adam. I hear
good morning.
Your birthday.
Good morning, Jean Carl. Good morning, Amelia. How y'all doing this morning?
We're great.
We are doing well and excited to be here.
It's a blessing to see another year for me.
Yes, we are excited to be here in community and celebrating you, Adam. I know your
Thanks a lot.
is off to an amazing, amazing start.
Yes, happy birthday, Adam. Happy Earth Day, brother.
Thanks a lot,
Welcome,
Jean
everyone.
Carl.
Welcome.
Welcome, Abimbola.
Welcome. Good morning. Happy to see you this morning. This morning, we would like you to have prepared something to journal with, so a pen, a paper, a book, a journal. You can have your Woo journals ready. We're going to give you an exercise today that's going to require writing. You should always be ready to take notes when you're here on these amazing sessions we have here on Woo. Welcome.
Good morning and welcome, Facebook. If you're just joining us, my name is Amelia Blake. Today, we're going to be talking about the topic of authentic communication. So we invite you to have your journals with you, your water, tea, or coffee close by, and we'll get settled in for an amazing, amazing session.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us. I'm so excited this morning. So excited to share and just interact. Talk to the family. See what's on your minds out there this morning. How did you wake up? How did you wake up? You feel great this morning? Like, yes, if you feel great, let's hear it. Yes, I feel great this morning.
Yes, I feel great this morning.
Yes, I feel great this morning.
Yes, yes. All right, get ready, folks. We are about to spin off in a few seconds. About to get it going. And Facebook, again, welcome. Any newcomers there on Facebook, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here this morning. We hope to hear from you, hear your shares this morning. So thank you for joining us. And again, to everyone coming in on Zoom, good morning. Grand rising, as we like to say here.
Good morning, Afriye. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Good morning. Good morning. Wake up, everybody community. Good morning, Facebook. My name is Amelia Blake, and it's an honor for me to be here today to share in our discussion of authentic communication. My name is Amelia Blake, and I've been a nurse for about 20 years now. Whenever I say that number, I'm still a little bit surprised because it has gone by in a flash. About 10 years ago, I started on a journey of getting to know myself a little bit more, and that led me to mindfulness. It led me to meditation. And about a year ago, I cemented it by becoming a certified meditation coach. So today I am excited to be here with you all to share in this discussion and to share in this with my amazing co-host, Mr. John Carl Martin.
Thank you so much, Amelia. Good morning, community. Good morning, Woo community. I'm happy to be facilitating with my friend Amelia this morning. And I am a facilitator here. I'm a admin here in the Woo community. And I am an artist, I'm an author. I write a series of children's books with my daughter. They are dedicated, they call What Makes Me Happy, What Brings Me Joy. And we have books like titles like A Day in the Park, A Day at the Beach, Outdoor Games. And it's simply looking for the things in life that make you happy. And you can find them just about anywhere. And that's been my journey in this lifetime. And I am a great artist. You see a portrait behind me. I do portraits. I create logos. I've created our Woo logo here. And again, I'm excited to be a part of this amazing community. This community has helped me to enhance my gift and to also to share them. And I'm here this morning sharing with you. Our topic this morning is authentic communication. And Amelia, I'll let you go.
Sure. So as you are getting ready for this session, we invite you to have a journal because we're going to have a journal activity a little bit later on in our session. Make sure you have your water to maintain your hydration or your coffee or tea to get you stimulated as well for this conversation. Coffee is my drink of choice for today, so I salute you with whatever your morning beverage is. As we get into this, I'm going to just share a quick mindful practice and we'll jump on into our conversation. Now, this is going to be easy for some of you because you are just waking up. For me as well, I'm on the West Coast. So it's about 4 o'clock in the morning, a little after 4 in the morning for me. So I'm just going to yawn and stretch. We're going to just practice this. This is an activity that wherever you're going through your day, whenever you need a moment to just come back to self, to come back to center, you're going to stretch and you're going to force yourself to yawn and just give yourself a nice long stretch and yawn. And what this does, it moves the energy in your body, allows your energy to just circulate. And now I'm going to invite you to just give yourself a hug. And this is what we call just the self-soothing practice. Again, a practice just to get the energy flowing and moving within your body. So as we're doing this, I'm going to invite you to think about our question that's going to get us started off today. What does authentic communication mean to you? So as you're stretching and yawning, and doing your self-soothing, think of the question, what does authentic communication mean to me? And as we come back, I'm going to invite you to put your response in the chat, and then I'm going to invite Kenyofi, if you can select someone to come off mute and share, what does authentic communication mean to you?
All right, I will ask.
I see Adam has his hand up.
Oh, great. Ask Adam.
All right. Good morning, everybody. When I think of authentic communication, it means to me that you're being transparent about who you are, what kind of relationship you want, and what you do for a living, and what you're about all around. That's what I think about when I think of authentic communication. It's all about being transparent. So another person can get clarity of who you are instead of you running around in circles and confusing them, or you're saying one thing and then you're saying the another. And I'm complete.
I love that. Excellent, Adam. And just while Adam had the floor, I just want to acknowledge today's Adam's birthday, everyone. So send him some birthday love in the chat. And we're excited that you're choosing to spend your day with us, Adam. So yeah, so being transparent about who you are, that is a form of authentic communication. Other aspects of authentic communication is the relationship we build with ourselves and our inner being. That relationship with self, how you communicate with yourself, it eventually is going to be how you communicate with others. So when we think of authentic communication, we really first have to think, how do I communicate with me? Do I listen to the things, my nudges, my insights? Do I say yes when I really mean no? What is that relationship that you have developed with yourself? And again, that relationship you have with self is going to be that relationship and how you interact with others. And that's a form of authentic communication. I'm going to turn it over to anyone else would like to share, Kinyofu?
I don't see any hands up. Did you want me to call on somebody?
That would be awesome.
Okay, how about a Friye? Friye, can you speak with us today? And if not a Friye, how about Dr. Kinnenbrew?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I was thinking that authentic communication is communication that lines up with who you really are, not who you are necessarily pretending to be or what role you're taking on. So there should be some alignment between who you are and who you say you are. Who you say you are and who you really are, there should be some alignment. So when I think authentic communication, I'm thinking alignment, and I'm complete.
I love it. If one of the admins can just share in the chat the words that are coming up from this conversation: transparent, alignment, clarity. Those are just a couple words that people have shared so far in relation to authentic communication. Let's invite one more person to speak, Kinyofu.
Alrighty, so how about Jackson?
What was the name?
Jacqueline?
Jacqueline.
Good morning. I thought you said Catherine.
Good morning, Jacqueline.
Yeah, I was hoping you said Catherine. I was in the middle of writing down what my authentic communication, what I believe authentic communication to be. Sharing information with others that clarifies your relationship to them, being present in the now and transparent with your response to another, taking a stand and being open to listening and receiving.
Mm, excellent.
I'm still working on it. My authentic communication is a definition in process because I know that I'm not always authentic in my communication. I withhold stuff at times when I shouldn't, and sometimes when I should, I don't.
Mm. Well, Jacqueline, you're in company because I'm gonna bet you are not alone. And I'm gonna raise my hand because that's one of the things that this topic is so important to me. Part of my own journey is me learning the process of communicating with myself in an authentic way. And there are so many different things, and we're going to touch on those a little bit later, some of the barriers that prevents us from standing in our authentic self. For me, some of those barriers was growing up in a household where acknowledging your feelings was not encouraged. In fact, it was encouraged for you not to acknowledge what you were feeling. So as we get into our adulthood, we realize, oh, wow, we are doing these things that are not necessarily the truth of our being, but what we've been conditioned to believe, how we've been conditioned to respond. And so, as Jacqueline shared, we now get into that space where we're in the process of learning how to authentically communicate with ourselves. So, Jacqueline, you're in good company, you're in excellent community, because we are all here working on removing the layers that prevents us from standing in our authentic selves. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that, Jacqueline. So I'm going to move on and I'll turn the mic over to Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Amelia. That was great. That was great. Absolutely. And I like that you said we're here, we all learning this and going through this process together. We're not alone. We all have these areas in our lives, and in sharing these tools and speaking about it, communicating about it, authentically speaking about it, we find resolutions and support. You know, just knowing you're not alone is uplifting already. You know, it doesn't feel as heavy. And so I have another question here. And my question is, why is it important? Why is it important? Why do you think authentic communication is important? What are the things that it supports? What are the things you think authentic communication support? What is it? Why in the question? I'll share the question in the chat. And it's already there. Thank you, Z. Thank you, Z. And again, for our friends and family out there on Facebook, we'd like you to participate. We'd like to hear your comments. Why do you think authentic communication is important? As a matter of fact, let's if we can call in someone who may be feeling the urge to share their response. Why do they think it's important? You can raise your hand, the admin will call on you.
Hands raised right now. I see a name in the list that I've not seen before. It just could be me, but I'm curious. Kelly. Kelly, can you come off of mute and share?
Welcome, Hillary.
No, Kelly. Kelly.
Yes.
Kelly.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Kelly.
Okay,
We can hear
good
you.
morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you all?
Great this morning, doing awesome.
Okay, great. So you asked the question, why is it important?
Yeah.
I guess to be transparent with authentic communication. Was that the question? I think I was waiting and listening for the answer and not thinking about it. But I think it's important because you're able to assess the realness of the person when you receive authentic communication, and there's no question or no doubt with regards to how they may receive you or what you're trying to relay. I think for a lack of terminology, that would be my reason and why it's important.
That sounds like clarity to me, for the clarity of it.
Yes, I would say so. I would say clarity.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I receive that. Absolutely. And thank you. Welcome to the community. Are you new to our community?
I'm sort of, kind of. I was invited a couple of months ago. I would say about 2 months ago. So I've been on a couple of calls.
Thank you for being here this morning. And we love having you here and invite you to come back even more.
I appreciate it.
You are so welcome, Kelly. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Share.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Kelly said she was waiting for an answer. And those answers are as individual as we are. Why is it important to you? For me, and one of my challenge in life has been a communication challenge, one I wasn't always aware of. I have, for those like Kelly, I have hearing aids under this head wrap. I am hearing impaired, and I didn't realize that until I was 32 years old. I took a hearing test and I got fitted for hearing aids. And the doctor told me that, you know, this was pretty much present all my life. And as I reflect on my life, I can see where I've had challenges with my communication. Started with my parents, like Amelia said, and when we were young. It starts in the household. And my parents didn't realize that I was deaf. My teachers didn't realize I was deaf, and I was being punished for things like not coming, not showing up when I'm being called, or not responding when I'm being called, not doing as I'm told. These are things I was punished for growing up because it wasn't clear that I had a communication challenge. No one noticed. So for me, authentic communication is a way to resolve conflicts. I've had examples where people not knowing that I have a challenge with communication, and me not sharing that clearly has caused conflicts in communication. I'm not responding to the question. I'm not, that type of stuff. And they don't know that I cannot hear them because I'm not being authentic with the share. As Kelly said, you want to be transparent about everything. And once this is clear, the communication is easy. Once that's out of the way, it's easy. So for me, being authentic is important because it enhances the relationships. It bridges the gaps between relationships, bridges and strengthens the gap. And I know that's not just a challenge that I have. I'm not alone with that, because as I communicate with my peers and friends, I can hear and sense these challenges because they're not being clear, you're not being authentic. You're hiding something. And for me, at one point, I was embarrassed, or I guess embarrassed would be the word. I didn't know what was happening, and I didn't want to be in crowds. I didn't want to interact with people. I secluded myself. I was in the spotlight, but I was still hidden behind my challenges. So here in Wu, one of the first things I learned that I observed here in Wu is when I interact with anyone new, let them know that I have this hearing challenges, because if I don't do that, I'm missing something, and I have no idea how that impact others. I see we have Teresa with a hand raised, and I'd love to hear what Teresa have to share. Admin, could you?
Yes, and before Teresa shares, I want to read from the comment section. So Jacqueline says authentic relationships, hopefully, and she also says to connect with others in a meaningful way. And Kaisha from Facebook says, I agree with Kelly. Authentic communication allows people to be open and honest.
Yeah.
All right, Teresa.
Good morning,
Bless family. Good morning. Peace and blessing. Love y'all. Good morning, Amelia. Haven't seen you in a long time. Glad to see you. Good morning, John. Love you. How I feel about authentic communication is that sometimes when I've expressed myself, have expressed myself, I didn't get the response to what I was looking for from the person. So for me, authentic communication has to do with, can I trust them with what I'm communicating? And will they like do like I'm my thing about communicating is that it has to do with like respecting. And if you believe in I'm not when I first came to Wool, like I had a lot of religious, practices that I don't do anymore. And because I'm not like so dogmatic about those religions, when I'm trying to express, like how I feel about new thing, there is a problem, with how I'm thinking, because they're so used to me being one way. And so sometimes I don't share with people because of the response that I've gotten, because I respect, all cultures, or, spiritual cultures now. And I don't, make a judgment about, well, I'm a Christian or whatever, because I just feel like that way, puts limits to you learning knowledge and understanding about, every person. I remember when I was sick, when they told me, when they said that I had cancer, and I've said it to you before. I had said to someone that I had a lot of people sending me prayer, and a lady that was a Buddha that was praying for me. So the gentleman said to me, I would never have a Buddha praying for me. And I was like, well, that's your business. That's not, that's your problem. But anyone who wants to send healing prayers to me, please do. And so that's why I'm here today. And so he was like, oh, well, you changed a lot. I said, yeah, I have, because I just feel more open, to receive whoever wants to send healing and love to me, to be, where I'm at today. So it has been like a challenge for me to be authentic with everyone because of the mindset that some people have. So those that I can have that authentic communication with, I definitely will. But those who I'm not ready to share that with, I just don't. And so I pick and choose who I do that with, because sometimes people are not ready to hear what I have to say or express, and it's okay, and I respect that. But those who I could be my authentic self around, then I will be that. And I'm complete.
Thank you so much for sharing, Teresa. And I heard a lot of growth in your share. And one of the things I heard in there was you release expecting responses from others. And that I can see enhancing your growth of being authentic. You released the things that didn't feel aligned with yourself. You said there's certain religions practices you don't do anymore. And it's not that you don't do them anymore. You now found what you do that aligns with yourself, that feels more like you. And those same practices might work for another because they align with them. But for you, you found what aligns with you now. One of the other things I heard in there is your release of judgment. And that's a big thing that keeps a lot of us stuck. When we're judging, we're expecting. You don't allow others to be authentic when we have these expectations of them. So releasing the things that don't serve you, your expectation and your judgment allows you to be authentic. And that's very beautiful, Teresa. I admire the growth in you. It is inspiring. And I feel your authenticity as you in your shares. And you're always authentic and transparent. And that also benefits others, witnesses. Anyone witnessing this grows from you being authentic. And you never know who else is, as we said here earlier, you're never alone. So you never know who else is listening to your share and growing in that moment. Authentic allows us to grow as a community. And that's why this community here is so beautiful. I've grown so much here, learning to be more authentic. One of the biggest things here is how we show up. Is one of the most highlighted things that I see. And I say thing because I can't put my finger in the word I want to use to describe what that is. But authenticity, transparency, that's why this community is so connected and together. We're transparent about who we are, no matter what diverse backgrounds we come from. We bring all of those challenges, issues, we bring them here and we shine light on them. And each one of us carry a light and serves a purpose to help another to grow. And by helping others to grow, you grow. So I have learned this also in my life. And it is one of the reasons that transparency is important to me. Another challenge. Yes.
Just 1 second. I want to jump on your quote, what you just said about helping yourself helps others to grow. And Jacqueline put in this quote that matches. She says, this is a quote I have on my social media. Be so completely yourself that everyone else feels safe to be themselves too. So it's like we create an opening for the other. Yeah. Laura Clark says, come from that place of trust and truth. And Z says, in Woo we people in real time, because she puts people in quotes.
Absolutely, I love that. Beautiful, thank you so much for your shares, Laura and Jacqueline. Powerful, and thank you, Kenyofu, for highlighting that share. As I sit here and as that happened, it is another important benefit of being transparent and in your communication, being authentic in your communication, is that it allows you to align with your purpose, with who you are. And I have a purpose of sharing, and we all come to share. We all come to share our gifts, share our challenges, and we evolve and we grow. We become better human beings by choosing to grow. And with that, Jackie, I'd love to have you come on and share what's on your mind there. What is coming up for you?
Good morning. Forget that starting the video thing. I got this big bonnet on my head. Not doing that. My daughter taught me a lesson recently. I went down to visit her last week and I had a complete meltdown with her. And that's part of where that quote comes from too, because she said to me that she didn't really know me. And I had to explain to her that she does know me. She knows different parts of me. And I said that there's a part of me that I reserve for myself that I don't share with anyone. And I apologize if if she felt that I wasn't being completely open and authentic with her. But there was just some things that's between me and God that I don't share. But one of the things that I did, and that she also brought to my attention many times, is that sometimes I'm coming to the conversation with an agenda. When I come to the conversation with an agenda, I'm looking for a certain response. I'm hoping to get my point across. I'm not being open to receiving what she's saying. And I think we do that. In Landmark, they call it the already, let me write it down, already always knowing. And so you sometimes think you know what a person is going to say, you think you know where they're going, what direction they're headed in, and you might interrupt. And she told me I interrupt too much. And I find myself that I do that at times with people. And I did explain to her also that that is also a part of me. That is the person in me. I've always been that person that would jump the gun and think that I know what you're saying, and then I jump in and I say something and you go, no, that's not what I mean. I'm not trying to go there. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't mind being chastised for doing that. And that's me. That's part of who I am, and it's something that I work on constantly. But most people who know me and know me well know that I can tend to do that, and they will say, "Hold on, wait a minute." Teresa Scott being one of those people. Hold on, wait a minute. you, know, you know, that's
I
not what
told
I'm
you
trying
right.
to say. Yeah, Teresa said we need to come on and facilitate. She's been saying that for a while, but that's one of the things. And then bringing judgment also. My daughter thought I was judging her, and I think it's because she listened to the conversations I had with other people or conversations I had with my friends and stuff like that. So there's certain information she would not share with me because she felt I would judge her. So I had to let her see me in a broken down state so she could see that I'm not the judge and jury. I'm a human being. And with being a human being, I make mistakes. And everybody makes mistakes. And it's okay. And I'm complete.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. A lot of very powerful points you mentioned there. Beautiful, beautiful. And I want to congratulate you on your communication, your authentic communication with your daughter, recognizing the barriers, so to speak, that were between you and was allowing that. Even your choice to grow and to work on those things, those challenges that you recognize, and to have friends to support you, people like Teresa in your life who reflect back to you. Teresa is a mirror, and it's important that we have these mirrors around us, mirrors that we know we can be authentic with, that accepts us for who we are. Even with our challenges, they accept us, and we are able to receive the feedback that the image, how is it impacting another? How can we make that better? How to soothe the insecurities that you can create in someone when you're not authentic with them, especially if this person is a child or a family member. We want to soothe that insecurity. And by you having that communication with your daughter, you just broke a cycle of a curse of all the negative impact that comes from that. And we desire to enhance our family and enhance our, change those generational curse that comes with the lack of communication and authenticity out of the way is when we think of how our parents and their parents and our ancestors had to grow up, how they had to keep those things that it felt like this is just for me and my creator. This is just I don't share this with anyone. But the truth is that by sharing, it becomes better. When you don't share, your children has the task to break that curse. But when you allow both of you to work of it, and this time, it enhances, it evolves, it grows. And
I agree with you, John. I agree with you. And I want to thank you for those words because it's definitely been like a roller coaster for me with my daughter. And I'm sure I'm not done with the ride yet. Because I know, we'll have that authentic conversation and I'll think we've made a breakthrough and then something will happen and it'll be a setback and we have to do it again. But I'm willing, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it.
Absolutely. And you're doing the work, Jacqueline. And again, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And you're here. You're here, you're getting these tools and you're using them. And because you're here and you're getting them and you see where they can be used, once all you have to do is align with yourself, be authentic with yourself, accept who you are. We are not perfect. And as I like to say, we are perfectly imperfect. It's those flaws that makes us unique. Those flaws, when you see those flaws in all the cuts on the diamond, you know, all those little size and shapes and different reflection coming through, the light coming through is different in every case. That's authenticity. I'm going to pass it back to my co-host Amelia, and you can tell us, Amelia, where we're going to go with this next. And I'd like to open up those barriers.
What I'd like to do, if I might, is to read some of the things in the chat because it's fluent right now. And so from Sweetness, she says, freedom is a word that comes to mind. And this is from an earlier conversation. Kaisha drops in from Facebook. She says, Deborah, she's responding to Deborah McKinney, who's also on Facebook, I believe. I'm not sure. It fosters trust in yourself and with others. And Catherine Sweetness says, sometimes I ask of my children what I am not willing to do. And Teresa says, yes, family, we communicate well with each other. And Z says, she's encouraging Jackie to facilitate. Now, Anna Palmer says, good morning. I realize people are scared to grow. There are growing pains. Growth can be painful. I didn't understand why people don't change. I'm guilty of that at times. We love to be comfort and know how to maneuver in certain environments. New territory is scary. Z says Teresa has dipped her pinky in the pool. And she also says, Wu accepts you, warts and all. Okay. Jacqueline is responding, your family members are a challenge. And okay, so there's that conversation building. Okay, Sweetness says, I love how effective being authentic is. And there are, okay, that's where I'm going to stop.
Thank you, Keneal Fu. And I just want to just acknowledge our amazing admin team. So thank you for all you're doing to support this session. So many rich conversations, so many rich dialogue in authentic communication. And I'm gonna touch on that acceptance piece as we move into what are some of the barriers that prevent us from authentically communicating with each other. For myself, acceptance was one of those things. And as so many of you shared, a lot of that is family dynamics. So I was born in Jamaica when I was, my parents were teenagers, I want to say, when they had me. My mom was 17, my dad was 19. And there was a summer romance that lasted probably through my mom's pregnancy. A few years later, my dad got married. And my mom thought it was better for me to be in the home with my dad and my stepmother because it was more of a stable environment. She's a young woman, really kind of making her own way in the world. And she didn't have a stable base to support me in the way that she wanted to. So she thought it was better for me to go by my dad and my stepmother. My stepmother came to that union, that marriage, with a child of her own. So we have my stepmother, my dad, me, and my stepsister. My stepmother did not want an outside child in this new family unit that she had created. So throughout my experience with them, and I lived with them until I was 11, primarily, what I felt from her was not being accepted into that fold. And I mean, doing things like sending my stepsister to private school and sending me to public school. Now, mind you, I'm just a year older than my stepsister. So just blatant actions that for me was, I'm not accepted in this place. So I'm a child, right? So I adopted that into my adulthood. We can only be as adults who we're conditioned to be in our own childhood. So me moving into my childhood, now I've become a people pleaser. I want to please my stepmother so I can feel accepted. And that translates into my adulthood. Anyone else in the chat a people pleaser in this conversation? So being a people pleaser is one of those barriers that prevents you from really standing in your authentic self. Because when you're pleasing others, you are not really being honest with yourself. Well, what it is that I want to do in this situation, or how is it that I feel in this situation? So acceptance of others became one of those barriers for me in not really expressing my true self. Now, again, I mentioned I grew up in Jamaica. So I grew up in a time that it was corporal punishment. You go to school, you get beat, and then you go home, you get beat again because you got beat at school. So these are barriers from your childhood as you take with you into adulthood that tells you, don't tell the truth of who you are, don't express your feelings. And yeah, those are just a few of the barriers that I have carried with me into my adult life. And that now as an adult, I'm looking at myself and seeing how I show up, recognizing that these layers are allowing me to show up not in my authentic self. So it is me now going back and really doing the work to unlayer those things, those experiences in my life that have created me from standing in my authentic self. And I'm going to pause there because I see that there's some comments in the chat. So I'm going to invite one of our admins to read some of those comments.
Sure. All right, so Anna Palmer, she says, well, I think Z, first of all, Z is raising her hand to people pleaser. And then Anna Palmer says, being around positive people gives us a safe space to open up and grow. This gives us the opportunity to grow. That is what Woo Nation is. That is what Woo Nation is to me, a safe haven, free from judgment. Thank you for giving me fertile ground to grow. And Jacqueline says, avoiding punishment. And Laura Clark says, yes, Amelia, we wear the mask well. And Z says, yes. I mean, Ashe to Anna.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm gonna transition to Mr. Martin to share some of his barriers that he has dealt with.
Thank you. I definitely relate to the barrier you shared. And growing up in the islands, a lot of our family units were created that way. There still are, with the way the interaction, the communication is around ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I'm thinking about Black people. Myself, growing up in the islands in the Caribbean, what that was like. And then what coming to the US and experiencing another side of another culture, that was a barrier for me also. But my biggest barriers come from my hearing challenge. And with not knowing this until I was late in my life, 32 years old, and then having to understand what that meant for my life. So it created a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. I'm constantly working through those things. And that anxiety and depression and the fear, I want to say, it just comes from who I was told I should be and who I was told I was, knowing clearly that wasn't who I am. That's not who I am authentically. I don't desire to be that person. And when it comes to aligning with the divinity within me, it didn't, it's a barrier. God, creator of the universe, is not seeing me the way that people are making out these challenges and impacting or impacting, I want to say inflicting or projecting their fears on me because of what they believe it would be the challenge, not understanding the clarity of it. As I share this, as I share this with you, it's so funny because if you're sensitive to yourself, you can feel when you're being impacted. And as I tried to share that experience, it wasn't even coming out clearly. I start to, my body, I did a admin session on Sunday with sister, and she was talking about how does the negative show up in you. And in communicating there, I can see that it caused me to stutter a bit, hold my words in a little bit, because again, it's a practice. It's something you always have to work with. Like Jacqueline, she was talking about doing the work and identifying it. We're always doing this work. And this communication challenge is something that I am dedicated, I'm not giving up. I'm pushing through this because others would learn and grow from my experience and how I work through this challenge. I'm here to be authentic. I desire to be authentic. I desire to show up authentic, to reduce and relieve the insecurities and the challenges that I have experienced. I don't have the same challenges with my daughter as I have with my parents, because I broke that. I made sure that she's not going to go through, and I'm not going to create the same anxiety in her that I had to deal with. It gets better. It gets better. And we have to recognize that it gets better. And being authentic is the path, one of the paths and one of the core values, and authenticity is a core value that we use here in Wu and Spirit of a Woman. And I've learned a lot in my life about being authentic. And in this space is where I get most of that value. And it comes from the communication, when you are able to communicate how you're feeling in a moment and encourage to communicate how you feel in a moment. Those are things that allow you to grow. And I see my sister Teresa wants to join me again.
And
Yes,
let me-
hi, John. I'm sorry.
Hold on 1 second. So another Teresa in Facebook, Teresa Plaskett, she drops in her comment, to show up authentically for others, it starts with self. I'm constantly peeling back layers, but there are still so many more to go. Okay, Teresa.
What I love about us here is that I feel like we all have come in here to get healed from abusive behaviors that have been done to us as children. And we all have like similar stuff that we have been healed from. And I know, like, I feel like I have grown tremendously, but I do know I still struggle, not with the people pleasing, but like sometime when I feel like I'm being attacked by people's words, my words will start getting mixed up. And so, that's an area where I'm still struggling at, because sometimes I'm not responding because I don't want to be like that same little girl, like coming out off like a little girl, and I just want to be silent. But sometimes if I'm too silent, like the last couple of days, I've been having lately it's been bothering me when I'm not speaking for myself. I've been having I had like a really bad stomach ache, like severe stomach ache yesterday. And I feel it's because I was dealing with something and I didn't know how to express myself. So when I came into my group to talk about it, I realized by me talking about it, it released, the stomach, the pain in my stomach. So because it let me know by me saying how what I said is that I didn't want to give them back what they were giving me. And so I decided to be quiet. But in being quiet, I still was like having like a rage about it inside. So I love that. I love what Amelia says, because that people pleasing thing can really, really, do a lot of damage to you. And, you're going places, trying to please people. And not being, your authentic self and trying to, fit in. And so it has caused me, a lot of pain. And I'm still recovering from the pain, but I know I'm not the same person. And it kind of made me sad just talking about it because I feel like sometimes, now I feel like, not sometimes, I feel like when I'm in Woo, you're like a daggone damn, what you call that thing? Like the machine that go digging. You go like y'all be digging in places to get the shit out of to get the shit out of you. So it's like I'm a dig up. Y'all be digging up some more places, and they need to be dug up because we need to get healed and we need to get well. But sometimes when I come in here, it's like I'm not expecting to get dug on today, and today, y'all digging in places, but it's needed. So it's like what I find is that when you stay here, you'll get used to the digs. You'll be like, okay, I needed that dig today. I'm okay. It's like because I'm covered. It's like to be digging on and like to go through a painful experience like that and then not have the covering because I'm covered here. And that's the difference. It's like y'all might dig on me, but I got people that if I'm having a rough response to, like what's happening that day, I got someone that I could call. And so that's important to me. And I didn't mean to cry, but it just happened. But I could call someone on here and say, hey, what happened in Woo kind of messed with me today. I need to talk about it. And so I'm able to talk to someone. And so that's a good thing for me. And I appreciate y'all. I really do. I appreciate Woo. It's like without Woo, like God sent me, the universe, God, whatever you say, it sent me to Woo. It sent me so I can get healed. So my experiences can help somebody else get healed. And so I'm the better woman because of Woo and your love and how y'all surround me and how y'all just, like encourage me to fight for myself and to live to be a better woman. And I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. And I love you. I love you too. I love y'all. Yeah, I just don't even know how much I love y'all. I'm a better woman because of y'all.
Love you
really
too, Teresa. Love you too. So much love for your whole community supports and love you, Teresa. And in all of that share, I hear that you are doing the work, and we see it in you. You know, in your share, I want to. Something I kind of picked up there, Teresa, was in how when you're not authentic, how you think, not when you're not authentic. There's something there that showed up. It is in the reflection of that little girl, the little girl that you think people, that the reflection you get from people is a reflection of that, of a little girl. And the result of that is the pain in your body, the result of holding in that, your responses or who you desire, how you desire to show up, withholding yourself. When you become dormant and quiet, you are creating pain because you're not allowing yourself to show up. Who you are have to come into you. The energy has to flow into you and through you. When you hold and resist that energy, you're creating the pain there. You have to release it, even if it's through tears. That is releasing of the energy. We're approaching the 8 o'clock hour, and I want to say thank you for everyone that has been here, for anyone that has to leave and continue with the day, prepare for work and such. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Our contact information is posted in the chat, and you can also always go back to our Facebook community to watch the replay and the continuation of our session. We're going to continue with some solutions and practices and such. So come back and watch the full session and share your input in the chat. In Facebook, you can still share comments. We'll come back and we'll be reading and responding to those comments. Thank you so very much for being with us this morning.
Just adding my voice as well. Thank you to everyone that has joined and participated in this conversation and who will check out the conversation on the replay later. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Awesome.
Speaking of Facebook, Jem McBean says people can sense in their spirit when others are not being authentic. It's real.
Yes, absolutely. And this is when you're sensitive to your energy. You energetically, you say more with your energy, and I apologize for that click. I thought I'd closed that. But you say more with your energy than you do with your words. Your energy show up before you do. It's like that energetic self, your space, is felt. Your mood is also felt. So if you're authentic about that mood, you're not creating more impact. If someone notices, you can feel when people sense that you're not authentic, you can feel it. I'm not in a good mood today. And Amelia, we had a conversation like that yesterday in preparation for this session. And I'll share. I called Amelia up and earlier in the day, and we wanted to talk about a session. And I can tell that her responses was a little bit short. And I was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "You know what? I'm not in a good place right now." And that allowed me to create the space that she needed to deal with the whatever issues were causing her to show up that way. And when we understand that it is not us, you are not showing up this way because of me. You're dealing with your own issues, and we all have our issues and our challenges to deal with. So when we understand that, it allows us to give that other person space to be authentic, without judgment. And we know that that's the barrier. I think I saw maybe someone commented in the chat that judgment is a barrier, and it is. And that's how it most likely happens, Amelia?
Yes, I'm so glad you touched on that. And one of the things that was coming up for me when Teresa was speaking was some of the behaviors that we exhibit when we are not able to be our authentic self. We withdraw, we can become short with others. The work that you're trying to do, the creativity is not flowing through. So a solution for us in connecting with our authentic self is mindfulness. And mindfulness comes in as you continue to develop that relationship with yourself. When Jay called, when Mr. Martin called yesterday, I call him Jay, when Mr. Martin called yesterday to go to work on our session and prepare for our session today, I was in that space of work mode, and so many different things going on at work that I was feeling overwhelmed with. But we have created a safe space with each other where I was able to check in with myself and say, you know what, now is not a good time. I'm not in a good space. And then he could respond and say, and acknowledge, okay, now is not a good time. Let me hold space for you as you're going through this, but also give you the space to work through whatever you're dealing with. Authentic expression of self. A few of you have touched on this already. When you're not in a safe space, when you don't feel safe to show up in your authentic self, this Woo community is a space. We come here, we share our truths. As someone says, we are accepted, warts and all, because we're showing up in our authenticity, and everyone here is showing up in their authenticity. So that allows the container of this community to be someplace where you can show up as who you really are and practice showing up as who you really are, because it's a practice. I work in corporate America, and if one of the most unsafe space in the world is corporate America. And in my journey, in my work world, I have been having to practice, regardless of whatever space I'm in, to express the truth of me. Like Teresa, when I don't feel safe in showing up as my true self, I withdraw, I shut down, I don't communicate. And that is actually not being, one, you're not allowing the divinity to flow through you, because when the divinity flows through you, it allows you to show up in your authentic self. And when you withdraw and when you shut down, you're actually doing a disservice to that other person. If I had withdrawn in our conversation when Mr. Martin called me yesterday, I would have just withdrawn and not said anything. But I was able to express the truth of what I was going through. So I did him a service because now he's able to show up and support in that way. When you are not expressing the truth of who you are, you're not allowing the other person on the other end to then be their authentic self and express the truth of their being as well. So mindfulness, being able to check in with yourself, to know where you are, and then express that, as well as the practice of showing up in your authentic self, regardless of what space you're in. Those are two of the tools. I mentioned my stepmother earlier, and the work that I've been doing is around forgiveness and having compassion. Forgiveness for the little girl in me who wanted to be accepted by her parents, because that's I say stepmother, but in all reality, she was my mom figure. So forgiveness for that little girl and forgiveness for my stepmother and compassion towards her for recognizing that she was in a place where she felt her way of receiving my father's love was to push me to the outside, you know? So compassion for that woman and forgiveness for her is an amazing tool. And forgiveness work is something that you will be doing as you continue through this journey called life until you take your very last breath, because there is always something that happens that you're going to need to forgive and let go. And that is why I do meditation, because meditation is an ultimate art and practice of letting go and allowing the forgiveness to come through. All right, I'm gonna transition to
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that, Amelia. And I love how you recognize how your challenges tie into your purpose. Your challenges tie into your purpose. You're here to teach how you overcome your challenges by living in your purpose. And I can relate to both forgiveness and compassion. And I first have to forgive myself and forgive everyone around me where it ties into my hearing issue. And one of the things I realized recently with compassion and being authentic is you want to be conscious and mindful that you are given the thing you want to receive. And me wanting to receive compassion, I have to be mindful to give that. And one of the ways I realized recently that I can do that when it ties into my communication challenge, my lack of hearing, so to speak, is this when I have this stutter in communication with others, it causes an anxiety within me, which later can lead to a depression. And the way I can avoid that is by giving the same compassion when others have a challenge communicating with me. I was speaking to a lady yesterday, and there were challenges over the phone, and there were challenges about trying to get what she was saying. I said, ma'am, I explained to her, I've been this way all my life. And right now, my auditory processing disorder, which helps me, which challenged me when it comes to discernment of speech, is acting up right now. And it's going to be very difficult to understand what you're telling me. Plus, it's causing a little bit of anxiety. If you can send this an email, I can respond or I can follow up as necessary. And this is a response from me doing the work to understand my challenge and how that impacts others, not just how it impacts me, but how it lands on others. So we have to do the work to cultivate authenticity. And Amelia mentioned meditation and mindfulness, and that is a very powerful practice because it begins with you all of your challenges begin with you. They're challenges that come through your DNA, through your family unit, through the experiences you've had, you know, the response of others, the judgment of others, but it's your work. It's our work. It's my work to heal my own insecurities and do the work using the tools that we're shown here. And I'll let Amelia take us through some more of that and the tools, that other tools that we can do. And Woo itself is a tool, and every t-shirt that show up offers you little tools that you can use. And I can see the chat going off to the side. And Kenyofu, I don't know if there's anything there you may want to share or address before we move forward.
Yes, there is. Laura says, forgiveness and compassion helped me to release the anger I had against my caregiver and mother. And Jacqueline has 2 paragraphs in here, and I'm wondering if Jacqueline would want to come off. I'd also like to invite Laura as well.
I knew you were going to say that. I was like, I wrote too much. You're going to tell me to read it. All right, I'll be quick. Sometimes who we are can be uncomfortable to others, but we cannot allow that to shut us down. Sometimes who we are challenges others, but if we come with high vibration, authentically, we do no harm. We open up space for them, for others. And that was in response to Teresa. And then at Amelia, from her share, at Amelia, I did not feel accepted by my father's family, and it took a long time to accept that I am not accepted by them. As a result of that and other trauma, I became a high achiever as a way to thumb my nose at them. I'm just embracing my accomplishments and achievements now as a result of my passion instead of retaliation. And of course, you know I love your voice and your tone, and I'm complete.
I love that, Jacqueline. I love that. You know, just when I say you're not alone, any other high achievers there? I definitely have fell into that bucket of high achiever, and also got to the point of recognizing, well, why am I trying to be a high achiever? What insecurities am I trying to address by, going ahead, trying to achieve whatever it is that I'm doing?
Yes.
What it is that I'm trying to soothe within myself. So thank you for sharing, Jacqueline. You are not alone, girl. All right, Laura. How about you, Laura?
Yeah, greetings. Thank you so much. This is so on time for me. Okay, yeah, thank you so much for this beautiful session this morning. I, like you guys, I'm also a radical, independent, high achieving person. Also, I wasn't accepted by my parents, my caregivers, and I was always wondering, why am I going at things? But it's like I didn't have a purpose. I just found myself working hard, achieving. I wasn't even acknowledging or being grateful for my achievement. But the part I spoke about forgiveness, most of my life I was angry against my caregiver, my mom. And during COVID, I learned through a shaman about living in Cuba during the revolution and how traumatic it was for him. And I pieced together the story of my caregivers who also lived in Cuba during the revolution and get to realize that they were coming from a place of trauma, of PTSD. And at that moment, I really felt this deep, deep compassion, so deep. And I was able to let go, forgive myself for being so angry at them all these years because they were in so much pain. And, at that moment, I'm telling you, it was such a shift, total shift. So, I'm a storyteller. I'll go on and on. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Laura. Thank you for sharing. Just
Thank you so much.
wonderful, wonderful share. And you actually touched on one of those tools, is healing that trauma within yourself. And one of the ways that I actually did that, and I encourage each of you to do that as well, as Laura did, really understanding their parents' story. So I had to sit down with my mom and my stepmother and her siblings, and really hear their journey, right? The parents they came from, and how those parents impact how our parents, showed up. And then in turn, how they showed up for us. And so going back and really kind of unraveling, wow, what were they going through in their time period that caused them to present and show up the way that they do, allows us to move into that space, as Laura said, to shift that anger, that resentment, that feeling of not being accepted that we have carried with us into our adulthood. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Mr. Martin, and then I see Purple has her hand up as well.
Yeah, let's hear from Purple. Purple, come in and join us.
Hey, Purple.
Unmute yourself, Purple.
Love your
Okay,
breath.
thank you. Yes, this is a part of the question. I have silver hair. Instead of graying streaks, I have silver braids. And a part of it actually came from a couple of weeks ago, I think, or maybe last week, a session where I was asking about protecting myself out in the world energetically. And he said, wrap your hair in white. And I got the vision to put white braids. When I went to go pick up the white, I seen this silver. And I was like, oh. And so this comes to kind of what you spoke about, and where I find, but on one end, I'm saying my greatest challenge, but I know I'm challenged in authentic communication at work, with family, and sometimes in my partnership. And so I know it's the same, right? I'm being the same in all of these places. I think not being honest about the anger, because I'm interrupted in the habit of people pleasing. And last week's session, when I got coaching on Woo, when we did the meditation, I had seen these two little organs floating, and the liver and the kidney, and both Jackie, Shawnee, and the leader talked to me, about it. And I had 2 days later got my results from my endoscopy. And so it's a very real manifestation. Of course, I know spirit is real. So, the time is like yesterday, because I'm very youthful. I've been healthy all of my life. And for me, I just don't accept what I've done to my body by pushing down, right? And the main place that I'm standing to have a breakthrough is in this corporate America world, right? Because I'm really starting now to understand our journey as Black women. After George Floyd got murdered, I told my department I will no longer code switch. And it's been a journey since then to learn how to not code switch and catch it. And I said I'd no longer want to participate in tokenism. And I reject all of the privileges that come with it, right? So I did some acknowledgement of who I was being. And how do you move authentically in corporate besides having silver hair, right? I'm in arts education, so it works, right? But there's still just, I'm really trying to understand this journey. I'm looking for Black women who are healthy in leadership in corporate America. And that, now that my eyes have been opened some more, I find that to be very rare.
Purple, you actually touched on those things yourself in your share. That acknowledgement of what the environment is and speaking up about it. So code switching is showing up in a space and not being your authentic self, and really, I want to say, conforming to the environment so that you don't stand out. Well, girl, you are born to stand out. We're all born to stand out. Spirit is in us so that we can express. And when we are in that space of code switching, or not showing up, or sharing our voice, or sharing our story, or sharing our truth out of fear of what the other person is going to respond, that's us not standing in our authenticity. So as you continue to move into this space, if you continue to make corporate America your choice, which at this moment it is my choice, it's learning how to be in the room and just expressing the truth of what you're feeling. And that's just practice. It's gonna be uncomfortable, right? It's not gonna feel safe. You're gonna feel uncomfortable, but there's no growing in the comfort zone and there's no comfort in the growing zone. So as you're in that moment, you want to be mindful, checking in with yourself and say, oh, is this a moment where I'm going to withdraw or I'm not expressing the truth of what I'm feeling? And you check in with yourself. And if you realize it is, call on spirit. Spirit is real. You call on spirit. And, one of the quotes that I love from A Course in Miracles, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say and to whom? Remembering, and in that moment when you're feeling that, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to speak, you check in with spirit. Spirit, what would you have me say in this moment? You're checking in with yourself because yourself always knows the truth of what needs to be expressed in that moment. So building that connection with self and then trusting the intuition or the guidance that's being stimulated within you in that moment. You are there because you have a purpose to say something that group, that team, that company, that organization, that community needs to hear. And all you need to do is trust that voice within you is always for your greater good. It is always for you to express your greater good. So whatever you express in that moment is going to be the truth of what needs to be heard and what needs to be said.
Thank you so much. That's a word. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Purple. And I love the hair, girl.
Thank you. You know they love it too. They just don't know. They just won't say it.
All that matters is you knowing the truth. All right, Mr. Martin, go ahead.
I was choking there just trying to give Purple this compliment. I love her look. And the uniqueness of who she is, of who you are, Purple. Love it. And Amealya, what you said there was a lot of how are you feeling? You have to check in with yourself. And I think this is a great time for us to start our exercise or journaling exercise. And we're going to ask you our community, we're going to give you a prompt. How today I am feeling. That's the exercise. We're going to do this for 5 minutes, and we want you to write, journal a little bit. How are you feeling? Today I am feeling, and the goal is to be authentic about how it is you are feeling. We're going to do that for 5 minutes. Time, who can keep the time? Can you keep the time for us, Amealya?
I got you. And Kinyofu, if you can go ahead and start the music now, that would be great.
So it doesn't matter if I'm there or not, right?
You were just afraid they'd abandon you. So you abandoned them. You distanced yourself
for 30 seconds to go.
Thank you, thank you. Has that been 5 minutes, Amelia? There it is.
Time.
Okay, so funny. I was kind of, my internal clock was going, and when the music paused, I kind of felt it. Awesome, awesome. I see some shares in the chat, but I'm gonna ask our admin to take us through the shares, but I'd also like to hear from someone about what that felt like. What do you feel like? How are you feeling in this moment this morning?
Okay, these shares are from Facebook, so when people start gearing up your voices, you can raise your hand or you hold on, your choice. Okay, so Charmaine from Facebook, she says, one will stand out, but one also has to be true to self. She adds, to thine own self be true, Purple. You are a powerhouse, you are a place to make change. And she continues, I am feeling on top of the world as I am manifesting my big games. I recognize I have the power in my thoughts as well as verbally to speak and declare what I want.
I
And
love
she
that.
says, I'm confident.
Yes, you do, Charmaine. Yes, you do. I see we have Catherine's hands up. Catherine, would you like to share?
Yes, peace and blessings. So I'm understanding with to share what we wrote as to how we feel.
Mhm.
I am feeling loved. I'm feeling equipped. I'm feeling focused. I'm feeling worthy. My goal is to have my book published before my birthday this year. That's what I wrote.
I love it. And we are knowing that with you as well, Catherine.
Thank you.
So thank you everyone. As we get ready to close out our session, if you're so inclined, you can definitely put in the chat how you're feeling. And we're gonna, oh, Mr. Martin, was there anything you wanted to add before I move into our closeout meditation?
No, I think we're right exactly where we've chosen to be. We're exactly where we've chosen to be is divine order. So you can continue.
Awesome. So we're gonna just do a release meditation. And so I invite you, wherever you are right now, if you are so willing, just to find your place of centeredness and bring your eyelids to a close as we go within and release what we need to let go of and call in what we desire. And we'll start off by taking 3 deep breaths together. Taking a nice deep breath in, connecting with that breath, holding on to that breath, and releasing with a sigh, breathing through your mouth. Taking another deep breath in, allowing the air to circulate through your body, bringing oxygen to all your cells. And breathe out. And then on your third breath in, I want you to bring to mind something that you're absolutely grateful for today. Knowing that gratitude allows our heart space to open up a little bit more. Lean into that feeling of gratitude and breathe out. And as your breathing falls back into its own perfect natural rhythm, I want you to picture yourself at the top of a staircase. This staircase is leading down into a body of water. It can be whatever type of staircase you like, spiral, wooden, going down. And that body of water could be whatever body of water you bring to mind. It could be the ocean, standing by a riverbank. Just know you are standing at the top of the stairs and you're going to be walking down into a body of water. As we take that first step on that staircase, you can lightly hold on to that railing And as you step down, feel the ground beneath you, knowing that you are supported, knowing that you are always supported. Continue to take that next step down, holding on if you need some additional support as you continue to make your way down that staircase. Step by step, going down. You reach the bottom of the staircase, your feet planted firmly on the ground as you walk closer and closer to that body of water. The wind is the perfect temperature. The floor beneath you, it could be sand, it could be grass, whatever is comfortable for you as you stand there in your bare feet. And you move closer and closer. You hear the sound of the water gently running, going back and forth as it washes up on that shore. You get closer and closer to that body of water. And as you stand there on the water's edge, you bring to mind whatever you need to let go of in this moment. Feelings of insecurities, inadequacies, feelings of unworthiness, fear, doubt. Whatever you need to release, bring to mind. It could be a situation, a conversation that didn't go well, a meeting that didn't go well, whatever you need to let go of. And as you stand there, the water gently washes over your feet. It is the perfect temperature. And as it gently washes over your feet, it is taking back all that you need to release. Feel the water washing away all that you need to let go of. Allow yourself to breathe into that moment. And as you stand there, you turn your face upward and feel the warmth of the sun radiating on you. That sun is pouring onto your skin. It is going into your body, filling you up with energy. And that energy radiates within you. And as the energy radiates within you, it's bringing to you all that you need to fill you up. And repeat to yourself, I am safe. I am worthy. I am loved. I am light. I am truth. I am my authentic self. Feel the energy as you lean into the truth of those words. I am safe. I am worthy. I am loved. I am whole. I am standing in my authentic self. And you may add the words that you additionally need for your own self as you check in with yourself. What are those words that you need to be reminded of? I am free. I am energy. I am light. I am blessed. I am perfect. I am whole. I am complete. I am standing in my authentic self. Now take a nice deep breath, allowing the truth of that to radiate within you as you slowly bring yourself back to this present moment. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes.
Thank you so much, Amelia. I feel that in my being. Is so beautiful. I love that you use those affirmations afterwards to describe how you're feeling. Family, thank you so much. I shared how I was feeling. If there's anyone else that would want to share at least one more time before we go, I kind of like feel someone wants to say something. If that's the case, you can do so. If not, we will move forward with the
Yes,
closing slides. Let's hear. Laura, is that you?
yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This really brought me to tears, tears that I want to shed all weekend. So I want to thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Ashley.
Laura. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being here. Sending you so much love.
Ashley,
Oh, so much love.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. We and I felt that. I just felt that in my spirit. So thank you, Laura. We will bring up our closing slides now. We have a special offer for you. And I'm gonna ask our admin to support with that. You first, Amelia.
Sure. So mindfulness meditation is what I love. It's one of my passion, is one of my purpose. And as I lean more into that, I invite you to check in with me for a session. The first person to email me at ameliablake@gmail.com will be our winner for today. And you will have 30 days to email and claim your prize. So again, that email is ameliablake@gmail.com.
Awesome. And I too am offering a similar special offer. But here we have one participant. I'll take the first two to email me. My email is johncarlmartin@gmail.com, and I'm willing to offer a complimentary coaching session and simply just observing your energy and where that is flowing. You know, where your energy goes, energy flows where your attention goes, and just understanding the direction of that. And the winner has 30 days to redeem that prize. We can set up the appointment, but we want you to redeem it within the next 30 days. Thank you so much. My contact info, you can find me using my full name, John Carl Martin. This is on Facebook. And I'm also my business, Happy Island Books. My children's books and stories. And if you require any type of artwork, any type of creative consultation, logos, portraits, gifts, and portraits and landscape are like my favorites. So if you want, you can find me here on Facebook, on Instagram at jmartindesigns, at Happy Island Books, at John Carl Martin. And my website is my email, is johncarlmartin@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Your website also is there.
That was the website. Website using my same name, johncarlmartin.com or happyislandbooks.com. Thank you for that, Kenyofu. Your contact, Amelia?
Oh, my contact information. So on Facebook, easy Amelia Blake. On Instagram, it's at Amelia_Blake. And my email address again is ameliablake@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you all. Love offerings and donation. My own natural energy yield. What you put out, you bring back. So our code for today, love offerings and donations could go to soulleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com on Zelle or QuickPay. And on Cash App, it's $ Spirit of a Woman. And the code for today is #543JCM and AB. That's me and John Carl Martin. So again, code #543JCM and AB. Coming up tomorrow, we have the amazing Mother Amal Muhammad taking us through Morning Breath Part 2. So join us tomorrow for that amazing session.
And join us on Thursday, March 17th for a spring.
Allison Henry, FaceTime video.
My apologies for that and being authentic. It's a call from the sister checking in with me. But you can join us on Thursday. We're going to do some spring cleaning and healing you. And that session is going to be facilitated by Dr. Danette Bean. And we look forward to seeing you. If you're new, come back and follow up with these sessions. Thank you so much.
All right, and so speaking of new members, I know you're out there, so don't be shy. Say I'm new in the chat, say I'm new in the Facebook comment section, and you will not be alone. There, I guarantee, are other new people, they're just not saying it, but be the first and come back. We welcome you. We're here 5 days a week, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 8:30. And on Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 7:30, always streaming live on Zoom and Facebook. And if you would like a wake-up call in the morning, go to your text right now to set this up. Type in 74121 and type in the Woo Nation in the comment section. Press send and you'll be entered into our automated text alert system. And so there's most days you will get the message and some days you won't. Those days is because we have run out of our quota. But if you put it in your phone, in your calendar, then you'll have another layer of reminder. So we have been working on an anthology book, and the title is Wake Up Everybody, a Community's Choice to Learn, Transform, and Ascend. And part of the process of this book is to campaign it. So the campaign is I Choose campaign. And we're asking you to fill out this form and you will decide what you're choosing. As an example, I choose health. Your choice will be different. And along with that, you will create a video where you will be speaking about your choice, why you chose, how you chose, and all that good stuff. So first, go to this form, put bit.ly/I choose woo in your browser, and the form will populate, and then you will enter in your choice. And we have swag. So if you don't have yours, get it now. Go to bit.ly, that's bit.ly/woo swag. Get your thermos, your mug, your laptop sleeve, your bag, your journal, your mask, your t-shirt, your sweatshirt. Choose your color, choose your size. There's something for everybody. bit.ly/woo swag. And asking you all to stay in touch. So you may or may not realize, but every week we want you to register. When you register, then you get to be on our email list. And so in that email list, you will be receiving who's going to be speaking that week. You're going to receive what their background is and any other goodies that come up. If you are not on that list, then you won't be in the know. We also have a Facebook community. We have two, in fact. One is a private group and one is a public group. And you would need to ask to be a part of the private group. So that's bit.ly/woo community, and bit.ly/woo nation is the public group. Woo nation is uppercase, and then you will click like when you get there so you can receive the notifications. You can check us out on Instagram, and that is at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. Okay, and that's another way to get to know who's speaking next. We're on YouTube, and we have an email that you can communicate with us, info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. So I'm right now stopping share, and I'm also going to move the spotlights. We're going to each unmute ourselves and give our love shower to both John and Amelia for this great presentation.
Thank you, John and Amelia. Thank you.
Thank you, John and Amelia. It was an excellent
Thank you, John. Thank
session.
you, Amelia, for this great exercise.
Very
Let's move forward,
rewarding.
everybody.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Thank y'all.
Yes,
All
happy
right.
Thank you,
birthday.
everybody. Happy
Thank
birthday,
you,
Adam.
Amelia.
Thank you, Amelia. Thank you,
Adam,
Big
John
Twin
Carl.
Six.
very nice
Love you.
presentation. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you,
great
John.
day. Have a great
Thank
week.
you.
Awesome.
Happy birthday, Adam. Love y'all, family. Wow. Peace and blessings.
Thank you. You too.